that was like a light bulb for me. Like, yeah, no one wants to worry about money. A lot of us can have unrealistic expectations, and sometimes we can overcomplicate things. If I don't do anything else, I'm gonna walk for 30 minutes. What's up, guys? Today I want to talk about the one thing that's keeping us from reaching our goals, and it's very simple. We keep starting over. And you know what I mean. You buy the planner, you download the apps, you make spreadsheets and trackers, you meal prep, you create some money goals, and if something doesn't go as planned, you're back to square one. You tell yourself you can start over on Monday or maybe even the next week, and then that just creates the cycle. Why is that? To answer that question, we need to talk about why systems fail. So people over-engineer systems that aren't sustainable. A lot of us can have unrealistic expectations trying to map out everything perfectly, and I used to be guilty of this, trying to plan every little thing. Sometimes I would just get stuck in the planning stages, so much so that I wasn't taking any action. We had this idea or vision of how things can be, how it would look if we reached this goal, and sometimes we can overcomplicate things. Sometimes we're looking at everyone else and how they're doing things, or I gotta have this before I can start on this. We just create this narrative that things have to go a certain way, or we have to be at 100% to see results or to reach a certain goal. And listen, I'm here to tell you that's just not true. The problem isn't that you fell off track, because we're human and things happen, right? The problem is believing that you have to start from zero every time, and you don't. Let's shift our mindset a little. Things don't have to be perfect to start. And missing a day or maybe even a week doesn't erase progress. It doesn't wipe out the effort that you've already invested. Instead of starting over, just continue moving forward. We hear these sayings all the time: progress over perfection, consistency over motivation, simplicity beats complexity. These are common things that make sense, but for some reason, it's hard for us to apply it to our daily lives. All right, so let's talk about some simple, realistic systems that anyone can stick with. And I'm gonna touch on 3 categories that most of us set goals in: fitness, finances, and self-development. Now, as far as fitness, give yourself a minimum standard. Now, my minimum is, if I don't do anything else, I'm gonna walk for 30 minutes. And I'll give you the backstory on that. So my brother is a fitness enthusiast. He loves to work out, and he's very disciplined. He used to be in the military. So I had this season where I was struggling with being consistent, and I asked him to hold me accountable. And anytime I had an excuse as to why I didn't strength train, maybe I was sick that day or whatever it was, he would always say, well, you can walk for 30 minutes. And that was like a light bulb for me. Like, yeah, I can walk for 30 minutes. And thankfully, there's nothing going on with me physically that prevents me from walking. So that's my minimum. It's low impact, it's simple, and I usually feel better afterwards. What's the minimum standard for you? What's something that you can stick with that you like, that's not gonna burn you out? If you can answer that question, you'll reach your fitness goal. Throw the timeline out. Just keep being active. The second category of goal setting I want to talk about is finances. We all have savings goals, right? And the one thing that we did on our money journey that changed everything for us was automation. Automate your bills and how much you're saving. Just make it automatic so that you don't have to think about it. That's money that you're not missing. Because when it's in your account and you have to manually move it, you have to manually pay this bill, or you want to save, so you have to transfer. When you have to manually move money, things start to come up, don't they? And then you start to make plans with that money. Listen, when you automate things, it's out of sight, out of mind, and then you just have to make do with the rest. And that's where budgeting comes in. And I know that's a whole nother thing I can cover in another video, but for now, I just want you to get the system of automation. And trust me, it will open the door to guilt-free spending where you're able to just enjoy your life. No one wants to worry about money. So this is a game changer when it comes to having more of it. Okay, so for the third category, this is self-development, learning, and growth. Instead of overloading ourselves with everything we need to learn or maybe change about ourselves and our circumstances, we need to implement habit stacking. This is when you do multiple habits at the same time or during a daily routine. I learned about this technique from this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. I took off the cover so that it can be aesthetic on my bookshelf, but he outlines the entire method for building good habits and attaching new behaviors. So this is definitely a must read. What makes this effective is that you're tying a new habit to an already established routine. I already drink coffee in the morning. I want to learn Spanish, so I'm going to do some Spanish lessons while I drink my coffee. I already walk every day. I need to read some more, so I'm going to read a few chapters or listen to an audiobook while I walk. One habit essentially triggers another, and it will become more of a natural extension of your routine. So how can you build your own system? You should start with your bare minimums. Number one, when it comes to task management, we have all these apps that we use and so many different planners. Just start with a daily to-do list with your top 3 priorities. Don't overcomplicate it. What's your top 3 gotta get done today? Next, ask yourself, is my system adaptable? Because think about it, our season of life changes. You're gonna need a system that can grow with you or shrink if you need it to, depending on the season that you're in. You should also ask yourself, can I do this on a bad day? Because we're not always going to be motivated or have good days, right? There are several things that may stress us out or make us tired. Is your system simple enough for you to power through those bad days? Number 3, automate or simplify wherever possible. Make it hard to fail. Sometimes you just got to take the thinking out of it. I think so much, my brain hurts. My husband always has to remind me to step away from the spreadsheets. I like to make things pretty, and sometimes I still manually do things, but he is the king of automation and keeping things simple. And let me tell you, you get your life back when you don't have to think about every little thing or trying to control things. And number 4, review and adjust your goals monthly, not daily. If you take things day by day, you're not giving yourself enough time to see progress. You'll get discouraged and give up, and then we're back in the vicious cycle of starting over. I want you to pick one area, whether it's work related, your health, or a money goal, and apply one realistic system that you can start implementing today. And if you already have a simple system that works for you, share in the comments so we can motivate each other. Let's stop taking ourselves out of greatness or worrying about the time it's going to take to achieve that goal. Because if it's one thing we know for sure is that the time is going to pass anyway. So stop starting over. All right, guys, I hope this encouraged you to take some action this month and to continue moving forward. Do me a favor, make sure you like this video and subscribe for more intentional living content. I'll see you in the next one.